I still can't do it.
I'm in control here, and you're gonna give me what I want. You know what it is. Give me what I want. You know what I want. I've been asking for it for years. You're gonna give me what I want, or I'm gonna continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. That's not what I want. I want you at WrestleMania. Give it to me. Is that what you want? Give it to me. Give me what I want. You want me at WrestleMania? Give me what I want. You're on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 390th episode of the GeekVerse podcast, and we're about to give you what you want. I am the GeekVerse Scotland champion, oh boy, who knows? I'll just say the number one Batista fanboy on this cast, Trusnell, and I'm joined by...
I am the Z-boy, Kirklin Patzer.
I am the alpha, Jessica.
I am the pilot, Taylor Field. I just have a quick question. How are we not going to get copyright slammed for that? Because wasn't that an issue back in the day?
It was with Facebook. I will test with YouTube. The good thing is, though, I can chop that off on the replay. I can chop it off, and I can get us monetized again. So I'll find out in the morning. But it should be fine. It should be okay. It's just a 30-second clip of Batista just yelling words. That's what we'll give what he wants. Yeah, the podcast, no one will flag it. They don't care. They don't check that stuff. But yeah, YouTube, we'll find out. But yes, if you haven't guessed by our nicknames, the title episode, or that great little opening featuring the fantastic Dave Batista, we are reviewing Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, released May 21st, this past Friday on Netflix. Doing a little bit later because we got the May long weekend. But here we are. This will be dropping on the Monday. Taylor, where can they find us on the interwebs for everything else we do?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. And GeekVerse is our Facebook. Yeah.
Whatever happened to this mystery poll you were talking about? Is that dead in the water?
No, it's coming. It's coming. Because this week has literally been about like rearranging my schedule because of my camping trip, and then now catching up on everything that I had to have missed. So that poll is coming. It's gonna be good. Ooh.
Okay, and then you just reviewed the news episode of Bad Batch. Are you going to be dropping a Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous Croissant, whatever it's called?
Cretaceous period. You know, the Jurassic, Triassic, Cretaceous? Oh my God. Yes, I am going to be dropping a Cretaceous, Camp Cretaceous review at some point. I have an episode and a half in, and yeah, stay tuned.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Yeah. You almost got me.
Huge tease.
I know.
We got a big.
Excited.
Oh, of course he is. It's you and him. That's the only. I remember when we put in the Discord chat, which check out our GV Discord. Everyone's like, "This show exists. Like, there should be more promotion for a Jurassic Park show." No one knew except for you two. So, yeah. So check out for that. There'll be a newscast this week, and then next week there'll be some retros dropping here and there. I think we might put back the Quiet Place 1 review that you guys did, meaning I think it was just Briggs and
they left me in the dark
Dylan.
For that.
Yeah, there's a whole story for that.
Oh.
So yeah, I might put that out there, maybe not, who knows. But if not, there's other retros popping off, there's other reviews going on, there's After Nines, there's a bunch of stuff on Patreon that's exclusive, ad-free, and early. The Potter retro's almost done. They got 2 episodes to record, but you can get every single episode up there right now. Those won't be releasing to the public till Fantastic Beasts 2, so you can get that nice and early. Check out the podcast network.
Fantastic Beasts 3. We are not time traveling.
Yeah,
we're backdating the episode releases to time with Fantastic Beasts 2. It's a whole new marketing strategy.
Oh God, man, we're on the 3rd one. Wow. Check out the podcast network, 7 days a week, 9 shows. Their 1 year is coming up. We are going to be doing a kind of combo crossover After 9 with them. We're doing After 9, going to invite them on. That has now moved to June 19th because June 5th we are doing a charity stream for the Palestine Children Foundation Relief. Children Relief Fund. There we go. I keep wanting to say foundation, so that's what keeps messing me up, but it's just fun. It's just fun. The description will be in down below, and it's on our Facebook and Twitter main posted, or pin feed, whatever it is. In a week or so, I'll drop an episode of 1, why we're doing it specifically, but 2, just the whole schedule. We're working out the schedule with other people's schedules and other things like that, and there'll be some stuff virtual, some stuff gaming, but we're going to go for about 14 hours, I think probably like 9 to 11. We're going to have tons of fun, and it's for a good cause. It's for kids that are caught in the middle of something, that are missing their homes, missing their families, and not just missing, like some of them have lost them. So it's going towards a good cause, just helping out kids in need, kind of like what we do with BC Extra Life. So words are hard, Travis. It's okay. Clay says, 100%, especially right now. I'm a little tired. It's been half an hour running around at a parking lot. You don't need to highlight his comment of saying words are hard.
We got to highlight to the fans. Clans, or Clay's here, not clans.
Clans here.
Clans.
Clans here.
Clans. Yeah, so that's going to be a really fun stream. And as always, if you can't donate, we understand. Just retweet, share. It means a lot to us. And then I think that's everything. Just like Taylor was saying, Twitter and Facebook, that is everything we're doing. Head down the description below, has everything I just promoted. And we are going to review Army of the Dead. We're doing non-spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, you can listen to the first 5 minutes. We'll give you our overall thoughts, whether we liked it or didn't. And then we'll give you an ad break. And then we'll go right into spoilers. So I'm going to throw your feet to the fire. Kirklin Patzer, what did you think of Army of the Dead? And check out our Dawn of the Dead retro, which we did a few weeks ago. So
yeah, good plug there. Yeah, so I kind of forgot about the trailer going into this, so it was semi-fresh, and overall I must say I actually liked it more than I thought I would. If you checked out the Dawn of the Dead retro, I don't know, I had weird thoughts with it. I liked some parts with it, but overall I think I just really hated like the cringy dialogue and stuff in it. So in this one I was kind of assuming something similar just because it was Zack Snyder again, but I really like the idea of what this movie was. Like it was very different from like what a normal zombie movie, or at least like my preconceived notions of what a zombie movie is. Like it was much different there because there's basically a bank heist movie, but instead of like guards or police, it's zombies that they kind of had to deal with. And I liked how the zombies were like contained. It wasn't just like a worldwide thing because it just seemed different. It was like they had this little like playground, or I don't know, just a kingdom. There you go. So I liked that. It was different, and I really appreciated like that idea of what the movie was. There's some character stuff, again, similar to Dawn of the Dead, that I just didn't really care for, but overall I really liked it. I thought all of like the action scenes looked really, really good. Just the CGI in general, I thought it looked really good. And overall I liked it. So there you go. I'm not going to say it's like a high favorite of mine of the year or anything like that, but definitely tip my hat. Zack Snyder did another good zombie movie. So I think it was better than Dawn of the Dead personally. So
interesting. Jessica.
So to preface, I never ended up watching Dawn of the Dead. After I missed the review cast, I was just like, well, that ship sailed. No point now. So I kind of went into this one clean slate, not really having, these expectations that Kirklin was talking about, about the cringy dialogue and things that apparently were in the first one. That being said, I enjoyed this. I feel like I would probably, put it on in the background and watch it again. Just, not necessarily like hey, come over and watch this movie. This was amazing. But
movie night.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna sit on my phone and want something in the background, like I feel like this was an okay choice. There was definitely some times so I watched it on my TV in the living room, and even in broad daylight with TV, I felt like there were some scenes that was really dark, and I was just like, I have no idea really what is going on at the moment. But then I mean, darkness or not, there was some scenes like that anyway. But I also found that there was a lot of times when it was really, like the pink writing, some of the colors were just, it was fun. Like when they did not going to say that because that's spoilers, so never mind. Caught myself.
Good catch, yeah.
Yeah. Overall, yeah, I had a good time. I don't know what I expected. I don't think I expected what I got, but I had fun with it, so.
Deerfield.
So when it comes to zombie movies, I have a line that I draw, and I feel like when it comes to Western takes on zombie flicks, that line is very hard to meet. And you've heard me rant in the past before about many zombie flicks as of late, and they're nowhere near as good as original zombie films are, and modern ones are just so cliche and not that amazing and boring and same old and exhausted. Whereas you go to the East, they're doing something brand new with zombies, and it is just absolutely fucking amazing. So now we get to this, which is the latest zombie flick done by the one and only Zack Snyder that is giving some life back to the reanimated, you could say. And does it like meet that line that I set for Western zombie films? I'm going to say no, but it created this alternate route that I wasn't expecting that I really enjoyed. I think having the heist component added into, again, like you said, Kirkland, instead of there being security guards and cops and stuff, it's zombies and thrown into the mix, and so many other little surprises that left me unexpected but wanting more. And this is basically a universe that they're diving into, and they have established that that I am very excited for. So my line, Clay, is basically zombie films in the West are basically overdone. They're the same old. And now that I've basically, as I said, gone to the East and looked at their take of how they do zombies, and I'll always reference Train to Busan as like a good starter point for that kind of perspective. It just shows to me a fresh way of doing zombies with adding many different many different, not developments, but there's different, not iterations, but I don't know how to put it. The zombies are basically not your basic usual go-to walking around reanimated corpses. They have several different layers to them that give them so much more depth. And Zack Snyder actually took some of that and used that in this film, and I really am happy that he did that, because there's so many people that don't go and watch, your Train to Busan's, your Peninsulas, your Kingdoms, all that kind of stuff. They just sit at home and they usually just go for whatever zombie movie is done in the West and just pops up on their Netflix, whatever. And I'm so happy that Zack Snyder took elements that I love in this whole new zombie take, and he's represented them really cool, really well in this film. I think that's good.
Nice.
That was a journey. That was a whole ride.
A journey. We started over here. We ended up over here.
Went to the East, went to the West, and back to the East.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really 100% know your full opinion on this movie. Like, is it?
I
That's
think
good.
Taylor's
We're gonna walk to it.
Yeah.
I think Taylor's because he liked it, but it didn't go like he has a bar for what Western zombies are. It didn't match that, but there was some new ideas in it. So I think that's what he's saying. Like it didn't meet the East type of film.
No.
So
No.
Okay, so I feel like I guess I'm in a similar situation that I was in Mortal Kombat, and I thought I wouldn't be alone on this one, but maybe I am. So I like this movie. I think where I'm disappointed is I've said this about Zack Snyder, and that's why I'm always excited to review his films, because like no matter what with his movies, there's always a take. There's always, I feel like, really strong passion for loving it or really strong passion for hating it. There's always something of like, look at something as BVS as Lex Luthor. That is a choice. Is it a good choice in my opinion? No, but it's like, we're going to go with you and be like, okay, we're going to take Lex Luthor. We're going to make it this route. We're going to make him, very different. And it's a full on choice. It's bold. It's out there and everything like that. But it's like, okay, he did it. I didn't like it, but some people do. And I feel like he kind of does that in all his films. Maybe not like the Guardians Owls of Ga'Hoole. I've seen the movie once and I don't have enough of like, was there a choice there? But all those live action stuff, 300, Sucker Punch, the DC movies, Watchmen, like the ending right there is a choice, right? So I was always expecting that when he did something with Netflix is like the hands-off, do what you want studio. I was like, man, we're going to see Zack Snyder like we never have before. And I feel like this is I've seen a Zack Snyder I've never felt before, and I don't want to say it's boring, but it's safe, and that's what I don't understand. This feels like a film that Zack Snyder would have made, and then the studio's like, okay, take that out, that out. Like we've seen all these things, maybe barring a few kind of fun little fan theories and a few little things thrown in there, and maybe the zombies particularly they changed up a little, but I feel the character types, the pacing of the movie, the reveals, the twists, like it's all been done before. And either when you do that, you got to do it clever so you don't see it coming, or you got to put a new spin on it. And I think for the majority, other than I'd say the actual zombies, there's not much of a new spin here. I don't think this is a bad movie. I just think this is, like I said, very safe. I would put Dawn of the Dead. I definitely enjoyed Dawn way more than you did, Kirkland. So that's putting out for people. Yeah, Jessica.
So, because like I said, I haven't seen Dawn of the Dead. Was that one really like surprisey and twisty? You didn't see things coming? Because that
I think so. Yeah, like there's one thing specifically that they do in there that's like, wow, that was really like that was out of the blue, and it was really horrific and very terrible and stuff like that and dramatic. But also, I just liked the idea of it is a remake, but I guess I just liked the idea of it's what happens is zombie apocalypse happens and these people just live in a mall throughout it. And it's like kind of trying to figure out life throughout that. And there's zombies that pop up, but it's more about the characters. Where I like some of the characters in here. There's a few like the Dieter, the German guy I really like. There's the Coyote I like. Batista to me is the best thing about this movie. He's such a phenomenal actor. Like anybody that ever thought The Rock or John Cena was better than him, like no, I think Batista could legitimately win an Oscar one day. He just gets better every year. So I like him and I like his storyline. And I think the film got weaker as it went along. I really kind of liked the beginning, other than there's one joke in particular we'll get into I was not a fan of. But there you go. Pat K says there's nowhere close to Dawn of the Dead. So I got the people in the chat are with me. I'm but the people here with podcasting, not so much. But no, I guess
I don't think I went into it expecting it to be this like fancy, twisty turn, surprising, like amazing movie. I went in just expecting it to be, I don't know, a gory, rated R, terrible jokes, fun and colorful zombie movie.
And I guess I just don't expect that with Zack Snyder. I always expect to be a little bit more than that. And not even, like I said, there's a lot of films I don't like, but even Man of Steel, tons of choices in there. And I just feel like this is a movie that not anybody could make because he has some of his style, but it doesn't feel Zack Snyder that way. It's like, okay, it was really bold. I didn't like some of the cinematography and the camera. He's using this thing called the Dream Lens. It's been a big debate online. I'm in the camp where I did not like it. It looked very murky at times. There was a lot of like handheld, like moving around. That's not the type of filming I like. So I think he relied on that a lot. He was the DOP of this movie. So I hope he doesn't do that in the future, but he's kind of said he's going to shoot all the little movies from now on. So that kind of fucks me in the long run. But I don't know. I was expecting a lot more. And yeah, Clay, we'll talk about some of that stuff in spoilers. I don't know if that was the thing to show, but that's great for you. There's some cool ideas in it. And there's a few set pieces in particular I really like, but I think it was just very predictable, very generic. And I was disappointed with it. I liked it, but I'll probably never watch it again. Maybe somewhere down the line, but I don't like Justice League. I watched again the same weekend. I'll watch that again. I've watched BVS many times. This, I don't know, and even BVS, which I think Army of the Dead technically could be like a better, well-made, put-together movie. I would much rather watch BVS because there's just bigger swings, where this is just, okay, he got to first base. He made a good movie. And maybe he wanted to do that after DC. Because if you think about this, he made Justice League, 4 years ago, and then he made this. But it feels like Justice League is so recent, but really, he made Justice League 4 years ago, and then he made this in 2019. So he might just want a more basic film, and that's fine, but I hope the next one isn't like that. So Clay says the Dreamland hurts my eyes. Yeah, I was not a fan of it. Anything non-spoilers before we jump into the Vegas slots here? All right, so going once, going twice. We are going to take our first ad break, and then if you've not seen the movie, get the hell out of here. Like you've seen a zombie, run as fast as you can, and we will be right back. All right, we're into spoilers. Where do we want to start? There's a lot to talk about here.
What about the beginning and the blowjob that started this whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't like that opening, like whatsoever. I thought it was just super cringy at parts. All the dialogue between the two soldiers driving the vehicle, I was like, oh no,
the Bigfoot reference,
Dawn of the Dead again. Oh, it was just, I mean, yeah, like that kind of made me chuckle because I was thinking of Taylor for sure. But like, just the fact that they're like, do you know where we came from? We just came from the place where, aliens and UFOs. What do you think we got? And it was just, like I don't know. It was so predictable that was going to happen. It's like, well, obviously they're going to car crash, and then you keep seeing the couple that are just driving very unsafely. I don't know. I know that we need something to happen to get the zombie train going, but I was not impressed when I first started the movie. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be a long 2.5 hour movie.
I don't mind the blowjob like death. I don't mind the guys back and forth dialogue. It wasn't the greatest, but I don't mind that. What I hated was everyone gets killed and are one of our main drivers. They get up there and they're two together, they're like back to back, and he like trips and then he's like, oh, that was scary, eh? And then the zombie comes like. He made a joke to me that you would make like if you hadn't seen anybody die, but he'd already seen a bunch of people, I would assume colleagues, ripped to fucking shreds, and he trips like, oh man, I'm really scared. No, that was and like I know someone's gonna throw it in my face. Well, Travis, you love the MCU. They joke all the time. Yeah, that's the thing where it's like you gotta find the right, and I don't actually like lots of the MCU jokes in the big battles like that, but the thing is like that's a world where clearly majority of those characters are just quippy. It's an action comedy world. I feel like, and I guess you could say, well, what about the blowjob thing? That's fine, but I guess I just don't know enough about these characters to buy, hey, he just saw a bunch of people ripped open and now he's making this joke that he's scared. So that kind of soured me. I was liking it, but then the ending kind of
Yeah, no, I'm in your camp too. I mean, other than you like the blowjob kill scene. I
don't know. Like because I guess the only other way is like I guess you make the thing escape or you do some sort of accident. Like it's like okay, this couple got married. It's a human error that makes this happen, and all right, here we go. So I wasn't opposed to it. It didn't hurt me too much. But and then we get the thing breaking out and everything like that, and just tears people to shreds.
You guys need to get out of there. You need to leave now. And he's just like, hey guys, we'll just hang out and chill here and find out what's going on. See, it's funny because I actually like completely blocked that out of my mind. When you're like, oh, we should talk about the beginning, my brain went to Vegas. Like that whole like intro killing scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I completely like apparently just blocked all of that out. And then when you start talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, that was not.
Yeah, I really liked how we like after that happened. You just kind of see like snippets of like Dave Bautista and like his old A-team or whatever the hell they are, just like kicking ass, and you don't really like see them like forming or anything. It's just kind of like sliced in there, and then when we do see them, I'm assuming it's been like years later, and then he's kind of taking the gang back together. I like that how we didn't actually like it. Like in Dawn of the Dead, it's just random people that like come together, and then that's how the story starts. Whereas this one, they already had some experience dealing with it. I really like that actually. I thought that was kind of fun because different characters already have some chemistry with each other, and they have a backstory that it's not like we're just learning about it with them at the same time. So I like that stuff.
Pat Hawk says, what do you guys think about the forced social commentary? I think you'd have to be specific because there's, I think, a few angles in there. They take some shots at, obviously, the former president. There's lots of talk about soldiers and stuff like that. We'll get into the loop stuff later. The Watchman opening, see, that's where I was disappointed, where I liked it enough. Kirklin, I'm not sure, did you catch the singer? It was Richard Cheese. Remember the guy you didn't like in Dawn of the Dead?
Richard Cheese, that's funny.
Yeah,
okay.
It was Richard
Cheese,
Cheese,
it's funny that you say that, because I actually liked the music, overall in this one, where that was something that I was kind of had grimes with.
Yeah, which I like I have a few of my notes, like that one point when they look at a bear board, what the hell? A billboard, there's like a Larry Fawn like billboard about magic and stuff, and that was his cinematographer for BVS. So there's like lots of fun like Snyder like Easter eggs if you're a fan of his. But I liked the opening. So here's the thing. I liked that idea of showing them going through all this stuff, and they kind of show pictures of their family and things like that. I loved, because it was heartbreaking. I love when they had that whole journey of like the daughter and the mother, and they didn't make it at the end, and they're just hugging, and like the zombies is tearing apart. Really like terrible shit going on. I didn't like the song choice. I wish it was something better. And I got set up because I think Watchmen, the opening credits, is one of the best opening credits in maybe film history. It's so well done. The music choice, how it's shot, and people after they saw us were like, "Oh, this is like Watchmen level." I do not think so at all. People are, in my opinion, are fucking high. Or as Snyder said at SnyderCon, living in a fucking dream world. Because that, to me, like, I liked this, but I feel after a week, I'll not remember the credits opening, where Watchmen has stuck with me quite a bit. But yeah, Jessica, so you said you remember these credits. Did you like these credits?
So, okay, you keep saying the Watchmen opening. I haven't seen Watchmen, so I have no idea what is that. This is just kind of the same style that happens in the beginning of Watchmen. Is that?
Yeah, and what it does is, because Watchmen's a graphic novel, so what they did, instead of, there's some storylines they couldn't fit in the movie, or they chose not to, they kind of gave you a history lesson of the comic books through the credits, and it was slow motion. It was Bob Dylan's The Times Are Changing. And even if you never watched the movie, one time just YouTube it, and it's just really everything's made to look like a panel, and it's just really breathtaking. And I think even people that hate Watchmen are like, yeah, but those credits are really good. So it's in this style, but it's like the music's different. I think this one's a lot more comedic. The Watchmen credits aren't really, because it's a really like kind of depressing movie. So it's that style of slow motion, meeting a bunch of characters, seeing a lot of events, and some sort of song.
Yeah, so I enjoyed this one. So like I said, I haven't seen Watchmen, so I don't have that to compare it to, but I thought this was fun. So for me, this was the first time kind of doing that, meet the characters, like, you know, have them standing in front of the black screen with their weapon of choice or their skill, whatever it is around them, showing their family picture. And then it just kind of cuts back to the death and destruction and everything else, you know. And the music, I will agree, will not maybe the best possible choice. You know, I think it's fun that there's kind of this cheery Viva Las Vegas music in the background, and then in the forefront we're getting a guy using a chainsaw to splatter blood all over the camera. So I was down for kind of that gory, I wouldn't call it comedy, but it definitely wasn't a serious opening.
Yeah.
I, like Kirklin mentioned in the beginning, I didn't really remember the trailer, so I wasn't 100% sure as well who the main characters were supposed to be. So then, you know, watching this giant sea can get dropped on top of a mother and a daughter, I was just like, okay, this is going to be a fun movie. For me, it just kind of set the tone that I didn't necessarily expect anything to be too serious from that point. It was just going to be, okay, this is going to just be blood and guts, couple of really terrible probably jokes in there, because that's kind of what the scenes of them holding their family pictures said to me, was exactly that this movie was not set to be a serious zombie movie. So, and I think that could be, this set the tone. As Travis was saying, you know, he expected twists and turns and things that he wasn't expecting, and for me, this didn't set that at all. This set this movie to be, okay, grab some popcorn and a beer and enjoy the ride.
Taylor, what do you think about the credits? And then also let you open up as far as the characters. Tell me about some of the ones you liked, or if you didn't like any of them.
So I like the credits. My only one con, and this is purely from a graphic designer point of view, is he would have like the title of the guy's like position or whatever, and then you have the first name and then the last name and a big gap in the middle. And I fucking hated it. It was just, I couldn't figure out why he did this. And again, it was like directed by Zack Snyder. Like, I don't get what he's doing.
Because there was a person like in every
I was waiting for a person to appear. There was nothing appearing when it's directed by Zack Snyder, because I was waiting for the logistical explanation as to why he was doing this, and it did not deliver. But anyways, aside from that, I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. And again, I like how he does tell that story in a matter of minutes, and it fits in perfectly, because you get that intro of the accident, and then you have the setup here where shit's just hitting the fan. I love the cinematography of it, or I guess you could say like the CGI animation. They didn't have real bombers flying through doing strafe runs, obviously, in Las Vegas, but I love seeing that. That's the kind of action that is just like, oh, this is itching my Taylor spot.
Oh, and yeah, what about characters? Who are some of the characters that jumped out to you? I feel like you have to be a Dieter guy. I feel like that guy's right up your alley. The German,
the German. I was totally on board with him. I loved how he respected the vault. I was like, I get on board with this. This is his white whale. Yeah, he was good. I really like Dave Bautista. I was pretty on board with most of the characters. I didn't have any problems with anybody really. It was just when shit kind of hits the fan, and then the deaths, which we'll get to later, the deaths start happening. I felt for the characters. I was sad. I was like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. And I think each character leading up to whatever point they get to in the movie just made me feel more connected to them.
Okay, so I gotta, I'll go because I gotta ask you about one question in particular. A few people, yeah. What about the security guard, Taylor?
The guy the temperature gauging guy.
Yeah,
I didn't see him as really one of the main characters.
I agree with you, Taylor. I feel like he was just a plot, like whatever guy to get rid of. So I liked the majority of them. When you say that you didn't have problems with any of them, so like I already talked about Bautista. I love him. I think he had a great origin setup of like he has to kill his wife and the daughter's there, and we learn more about their relationship. I like that. The daughter we'll get into. I think there's lots of problems with that character and lots of like dumb stuff that we have to like. Oh, she has to do this, so we get to this situation. Don't like that. Like I said, I like the coyote. She was really cool and everything like that. I loved the setup of the YouTuber, like the guy who's like making bank off killing zombies and everything. And he has like the one guy, the smartest guy in the movie. He's like, I'm not doing this. Left at the beginning, and then he had like his female with them. That was good. The guy who was like the bad guy, like the classic like in on it guy. We'll talk about later. I didn't like that just because it's so predictable. My main thing of bringing up the pilot, I liked her enough. The main thing I wanted to bring up is, so there was Maria, the first character that Bautista brings on the mission. You liked that character, Taylor?
I did like that character.
Okay, so I absolutely fucking hated her for many reasons. One, nothing against the actress. The first thing is, I felt like all these movies had really on the game. You're so right. I'll bring that up in a second. She is. I just feel like every character has like a really caricature, like really something loud about them. She's just there, kind of boring. But either way, so it's fine. She's boring the whole time, in my opinion. She's just kind of there. We get this plot point, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but they've been told they got a day before the nuke drops, right? Mid-mission, now it's changed to an hour. All right, so they got to be a lot quicker. They get the bank open. They're loading the money. And what does she decide to do? She decides to pull Bautista for a little fucking heart-to-heart. He said, we got 24 minutes. 24 minutes! And she's going to talk about memory lane of how they broke up and they could make it work. Are you fucking kidding me? And then maybe you guys thought this was a good thing. When that elevator door opened and it spun her head open, I fucking laughed. But not in a way of like, oh, like this is actually like the fact that they literally, the whole movie did nothing with her. And then this last one, like, oh, I still love you. We could work it together. Maybe there's a chance. Yeah. And then killed her. They literally just gave her like one scene to be like, oh, so when she dies, you'll care about her. I did not like anything about that character. Nothing against her. I couldn't tell you if she's a good actress or bad actress or not because she didn't have enough scenes, but I hated, like, you have 24 minutes and like, tell him on the helicopter ride. Get out and then talk about it. Like, fuck off. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I laughed pretty hard too when her head just turned the whole 180. I completely agree with Travis.
And then like after it turned, like a second later, a bone pops out, and the timing for that was just terrible too. But when you started talking about it, you said Maria, I was like, I don't even know who Maria is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look her up. Yeah, she's just like the first. And like, I just feel like throughout the movie, they should have had them talking about how they used to be an item, like a lot, and like maybe hint towards that. Especially, I would believe that if they had a day, because maybe they take a little break. There's like, they didn't take a break, but I could believe it might come up more than, hey, we have 24 minutes and we got to go. Like, why? Like, and I guess the point maybe he was trying to get across is they might not make it, so she's going to tell him now. But it's like, still wait till like the last 2 minutes then. Like, if you
she did. She did wait to the last 2 minutes of her life.
No, you. yeah. Apparently, she's a fucking soothsayer, and she could just see the future and everything. Like that. She knows the loops. But so, Taylor, you liked her. I want to hear you defend her. You say you like all the characters, so.
Yeah, I did like her. Again, I wasn't expecting her to have any kind of relationship love dynamic with Batista, because again, they threw that in at the last second. But I definitely wasn't opposed to her character. I just thought, okay, she's a badass, tough, gritty, get her done character that's up there with Batista, like the second in command lieutenant, like has Batista's back, and they go in there, and I thought that was awesome. And I was surprised when she died. I mean, you always know when the elevator's coming down in the background, something's going to be in that elevator. But again, it's just a moment where I felt like at this rate, they weren't going to just kill anyone, but they were Rogue One and these people. So, yes, I do like Cena for Bane. And I okay, you know, all in the game,
never gonna live
all in the game, I've been thinking long about that. So, in retrospect, I feel like, how many serious roles has Cena had? Like, give me like 2 or 3.
Bumblebee, and then Fast and Furious coming up.
Movie.
The
Fernando?
horse movie? He was the voice of
the bull.
But he's the voice of the bull. Does that count as a serious
That's
role?
not an acceptable answer.
Not a serious movie.
But I appreciate the effort. No, I think that Cena, all in the game, I think that Cena has just been thrown in and shafted into the comedic category, where he just forever is going to be there, and he needs to be given the in-depth roles. Batista, right away, he was given those roles and he latched onto it. I think Cena needs his time to shine, and Bumblebee is not that movie. That is not, because he was comedic.
Let's see Fast 9, because he's playing Vin Diesel's evil brother. Let's talk in a month, and me and Taylor will be having this conversation on the review. I'll be like, see, he should stay the fuck away from serious roles. He needs to keep doing blockers and all that stuff. Whatever. So he was a different person in Bumblebee. But yeah, did you guys have anything? Kirklin, what do you feel about the characters? Did you have any standouts in the cast there?
Honestly, no. Not really. I mean, okay, let me double back there. I liked Lily. She was the coyote, right?
Yeah.
I think
so. I lied to you. I had no idea what her fucking name is. I know there's a character named the Coyote. I don't know her first name.
So I guess Dieter, even though like I think I just liked her because she was badass, and I liked her accent, and like she just didn't have much to her character other than when
she was
like
the guide. She was the
I'm making up for, just saving the village or whatever. Like she was just like random like hero of the village. So okay,
she had a whole backstory we never got to know too much about. Like there's a prequel film somewhere that we were supposed to watch before this, but they just forgot to make it.
That's what I was gonna say. I would have loved to have had more information on her, because she was super badass. But how do you know that you give an offering to like this queen bee and then you get to walk around for free? How do you know that?
Which I don't. That's at the end of the day, that's the rules of the world he set up, so I gotta go with it. But I still don't see the fucking logic there that they're gonna let these people just roam free. I get it. They whole talk about, they have their own kingdom, they're smarter. So I get that, like I said, rules of the world. But I was like, really? Just one rapist gets left there, Murray, okay? Like, okay, fine. And that's what happened. So,
yeah.
And Batista, you didn't even shout out Batista. You didn't like him.
I was getting there. I was starting to talk.
I interrupted him. Sorry.
I was okay on Batista. I think like his look alone was just amazing, but like you said, you like the character stuff with him. It was all right. I feel like it's tough though, because whenever he talks, I just like hear Drax in like the back of my mind, so it's kind of tough to like take him seriously. And he just is so so big in the scenes. I don't know. It's a little standoffish for me. I just see Dave Bautista, and he's just, especially when he's working that grill at the beginning. I don't know. It was okay. I think he just looked like a badass zombie killer. So there was some scenes where he was popping off in there, and then the other people I'll shout out is oh no, I forget his name. The YouTuber.
I don't know his name. I just know he had bleached hair.
Yeah, Guzman. and I think that was good. It sounded right.
It was
Lily.
done-
His name's Lily.
The coyote, yeah. No, so I like him, and then the lady that got just fucked over by the head of security guy, because she was popping off. I think she probably got more kills than anyone in this movie. That one hallway scene.
I will say that was my very favorite part of the movie, because that to
Yeah.
me was some new zombie stuff like never been done before. Really cool. These zombies are in hibernation and they're just like, you got to move around them. Don't make a loud noise.
Well, see,
I love that set
that's-
piece so much.
Yeah, I
that
love
kind of thing where they say, like you say, like never been done before, but that's all been done. Like Train to Busan and stuff like that, hibernation zombies. And that's one of the things that I love that
There you
Zack
go.
Snyder brought into this. That is a huge point for me.
Yeah, so someone that's not the big zombie guy, and like Western ones, I had never seen that. So I thought that was really well done. I like the whole glow stick, like kind of walking around. I liked this, even if it had been done before. I think he shot that well, and that was tension. That was like, okay, the whole time. Not that I believe anybody could go, but it's like, this is a very dangerous situation. And the security guy, like, I guess his plan worked out because he killed her, but like, it almost went really haywire because it almost got them all dead. And that, like, he was a character that, like, I hinted about, but I didn't like that character because he was just generic 101 of, like, the whole movie's literally saying like he's gonna be bad, and then he's he's just bad, and then you must have loved it, Mr. Jurassic World Taylor Field, when he gets the head and he's like, what the government wants, weapon army zombies, weapons of mass destruction. It's the same as Jurassic World when they're like, let's get the raptors, like the arm. It's just like every fucking movie when there's like that, an animal, a monster, the government guy always has to be like, we want it to not to start, like, we want it to be the new weapon of mass destruction. We're gonna train it. So like, I literally wish the whole subplot of that guy was really here for the head was taken out, because it had no impact on the movie. It literally did nothing. I wish it just stuck with it was actually a heist. I should say that overall, this movie to me was too long. It was 2 hours and like 24 minutes. It could have been 2 hours, and his plot go away. And Emily's my backer. Right when I saw the tiger, I'm like, oh, the tiger's gonna get this guy, because in every fucking horror movie, the shitty ass guy always gets killed by the like huge monster thing, and that's exactly what happened. But his head thing, I just don't think you needed that. You really, like, I wish they took out the whole subplot of the government wants you, like, especially we'll wait to the end, but they're clearly like trying to set up a sequel. If he had escaped with the head, I'd be like, okay, you needed him so the infection would maybe grow again in a different city, right? But he doesn't. He loses the head gets splatted, and he gets destroyed by a tiger. There's no point to that character other than he's the wild card, which we've seen a million times.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways he did progress things, because that's the whole reason that, I don't know what, the second in command comes after them, right? And that's the whole reason why everything starts to go to shit. They start coming down the elevator and this and that. I mean, I'm sure there would be another way to do it. They could kill her without stealing the head.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered you.
Yeah, you're right about the head thing. I didn't think about the queen, but I think, like you said, there's like easily you sit in a room, and I think in an hour you could crack away, like, just have one guy kill that queen accidentally, right, or something like that. But I agree. So yeah, okay, it sets up Zeus coming in and wrecking shop, so it does that.
And yeah, and I mean, one other interesting plot point that I think will be relevant for the next one is it does. I mean, how are you going to show the pregnancy, which, someone brought up as well in the chat. This is obviously Zack Snyder's world, and we can't really explain zombie pregnancies. But, I mean, that's definitely going to come into play into the next one, knowing that zombies can impregnate either other zombies or maybe humans as well.
I would say it's a very... How I understand that is you have
tell us, Taylor,
your original host, which I wouldn't even say is necessarily like it's hard to call it like a zombie. It's just like a feral alternative kind of hybrid human subspecies, evolved, whatever you want to call it. And then you have the genetic pool getting weaker and weaker. So bites someone else, it turns into almost like an equivalent like him. Those ones are not the same, though. They bite someone else, and those turn into like your classic reanimated. So those reanimated ones can't have sex. Well, they could if you help them, but they're not. I don't know if they're going to repregnate in this world because we haven't seen it. But I'm just going to say at this point they don't. This is basically something that's only like the alphas are capable of at this point. The other ones just go into hibernation and just stand in the dark. So, oh god, you know what? Pitch it to Zack Snyder all in the game. Who knows?
Yeah, get the Watchman scene when he does the Hallelujah slow motion sex scene, but it's with the zombies. So Taylor, but in your headcanon, did those two zombies have to get it on to create that baby? Was there any other sort of magic?
It would have been like a primal feral, whatever you want to call it, scene.
They seem pretty intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I kind of felt like she was pregnant when he right when they met up the first time. He was very protective and kind of put her off to the side. And I did think okay, we're getting wild. And like you said, Taylor, these aren't exactly zombies, and that's like a lot of theories, and we'll get into some of them because I have them written down. But like some people are saying these are just literally aliens, and it's like looking like zombies because you have all the things like I didn't see the shot in the movie, but people have shown the screenshot at some point in the sky. There's like two beams, so people are like, okay, those could be spaceships. They brought this thing from Area 51, and then also like when these things get killed, some of them have like that like glow in their head, which is strange because I was trying to figure out like why do some when they get killed or headshot they have glow, and why
those
others?
Sounded like robots because you could hear like dings as they were being shot and like deactivation noises.
So, and that's why the fuck would there be robots? And this
I
is where I would
no idea. Like,
and this is where I would say Clay brought up earlier. He said, "Oh, he brought up all these theories," and he said, "Why in a zombie movie?" See, for me, I would have been so gung ho if we left like the generic like heist stuff or like this guy like the government weapon, and we experienced more of the like the time loop, the zombie robots, them maybe being aliens. That all stuff like they're kernel of good ideas, but people being like, "Well, it's not generic because he put this stuff in." It's like, yeah, but he didn't really explore that. He just kind of put in stuff that could be. It's same thing like the time loop, like. I guess like people are really going with this like, oh, there's a time loop going on. And there could be because they show the bodies at the what the fuck is it called? The vault. Yeah, and it does line up like the girl with the necklace, her neck's broken the same way. So and they show multiple scenes so people say it is a loop. That's fine, but they don't really get into that. So I can't really give it points for being that unique of a movie when it's just those are literally 2 to 3 minute scenes you could chop out from this movie. The majority of the movie is still the same. If it had come out like okay, at the end, the zombie rips off and he's a robot, and the government's like, yeah, we've been doing something. It's not that. It's still just a zombie movie.
Yeah. I can't remember where I read it, because, yeah, Fanboy Clay, you make a good point. Like, apparently Zack Snyder did confirm about the robot zombies, and I had read something along the lines of, like, it was supposed to be that they were inputted into the zombie kingdom as, I don't want to say an experiment, but I think it was something along the lines of just to kind of, like, not camouflage, but, like... not incognito.
Well, even
like
learn
undercover.
about them. Like, yeah. I'd imagine like putting a rover on Mars. It's just like, okay, you have these zombies in here. So, okay, and Clay, you probably know because you said it was confirmed. Those, the ones, the blue are the ones just with the robots. Because that's the thing, like, I follow Zack Snyder, but I don't like, I like this movie enough, but I'm not watching all these fucking 10 million interviews he does on everybody's YouTube pages. I like Justice League interests me, but this is like, okay, I'll hear this information. So I like that idea, but also I don't like it having to be told to me by Taylor. I wish that was in the movie, you know?
No, I agree with you, Travis, like what you said with, like, because that time loop stuff, it was interesting. At first, I just thought it was very random because I just did not think it was going to be anything. Which in
just
turn,
like a joke or something.
Yeah, which in turn, that's kind of what it is, right? Because Zack Snyder said it in the interview, but like Travis just said, I would have no idea that was a thing. I just, with how this movie ended, I just assumed that there's zombies. You know, like I wouldn't think that. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about just dropping like Easter eggs like that. Like maybe if there's a sequel and then we jump into that stuff, it's like, oh, okay, then I'll be able to look back on this movie and those moments and be like, okay, I kind of appreciate how they were sprinkled in there. It's kind of weird that this one dude was just like calling out the entire thing. Yeah, we're in a time loop. This is what's happening. It's just like, the fuck? How do you know that?
Well, a few things. One, there is a prequel movie coming out with Dieter, and then they're also doing an animated show with Netflix on this. So that I bet that animated show might have more
It'll
answers.
Expand, yeah.
But I still won't give that the pass for this movie because this movie's still like alone as right now, right? And and I'll ask Jessica's thoughts, but I just want to clarify this thing in the chat here because All in Game said, how did Omar get out of the vault, survive nuclear fallout, didn't immediately turn into what had been like everyone else? So there's a few things. As far as one, I could see if you're getting bit, that's the reason why you don't die from this nuclear fallout because it's just like maybe your DNA's changed, so it's like you're impervious. People have brought up this theory. I have no idea what the fuck it is, but like, so they keep calling these people, especially Zeus, the alpha, right? And he is like, Omar has an Omega tattoo on him, so it's like Alpha and Omega. When Alpha sees him, Zeus sees him for the first time, he throws a spear down and goes right for him. So they're trying to do some sort of like link thing. I've seen some people throw this theory that maybe Omar has gotten bit and he's gonna have like a different type of variation of this. Why? I don't know. It's one of these things of like, again, it's cool to have like, oh, there's theories, so we don't know. But to me, that you can only go so far. I think something like Inception, when the ending is you don't know and you can debate it, that's because we have the rules of the world. I feel like he's trying to do that, but we don't have the rules of the world. So it's very hard to like, yeah, why is Omar like, why did he get bit and he's like fine? Why is he nuclear? Today, the Phil GeekVerse podcast. Show your quality.
I was curious about the nuclear scenario. So I guess 7 hours after a nuclear explosion, residual radioactivity will have decreased to about 10% of its amount at 1 hour. After another 48 hours, it'll have decreased to 1%. So let's say he's in there for 2 days. I mean, he can come out. It's as good as that. So,
well, and 100% all games set, or they need that setup sequel. And yeah, and to me, that's a fault too. There's too many movies that use it as a, oh, hey, this first movie is for the next one. So I just go through a lot there. We're going to get your thoughts after this next ad break. Okay, so we talked like a bunch of fucking stuff. We talked about zombie robots. We talked about this time loop theory. So there's lots of theories with these movies. Are these things that interest you? Are these things that you caught? Are these things that you feel similar to us that maybe that they should explore more? Where are you hearing all this shit?
So I caught a few times where zombies had like the blue eyes, like they were lit up. I didn't know that there was some confirmation about zombie robots or aliens or anything else. So like Travis said, probably would have been more enjoyable to have some kind of confirmation about what that meant. That being said, I can see where Kirklin's coming from. In the future, maybe we'll get some kind of sequel and that'll explain it and come back to it. But the thing is, it doesn't help me enjoy this movie right now. And if you want to have a sequel, you need people to enjoy the movie for what it is. So without explaining any of that, it's pretty it just leaves a lot to be desired. That being said as well, it didn't bother me enough to really like want to Google why did some zombies have blue eyes in the dark. So, and then, yeah, talking about the Omar, there was obviously something in there for how he could get out because it, you know, obviously the zombies were coming down and him and the safe cracker guy were just like, oh, you know, the vault or the money or whatever it was, and they rushed back there to go back in. So I don't know whether there was another way out or he just didn't lock the door and, you know, hope that the alpha wasn't smart enough to pull it back open. Yeah. Whatever the logic may be. I do have a question though. You keep calling him Zeus. How did he?
I think that's just his name in the credits. Like it's. Yeah. I think that's a thing that I've learned over time. Like with Zack Snyder, that his name is. I could find out on IMDb, but I'm pretty sure his name is Zeus.
It is Zeus. It is.
He did look at a statue of Zeus for like 3 minutes and idolized him and dressed up like him. So I think it's fair. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So Zeus,
he threw the bar rebar like Zeus throwing
lightning. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, his name's Zeus. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think the queen might have a name too, but I don't know her name.
I think she's just the queen.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I like the kind of zombie hierarchy that they created in this one. You know, having the queen and then the alpha underneath, and then kind of as you go down from that top one, they get more just primal and lose that ability to kind of understand anything except for that hierarchy. So I thought that was a cool idea. And it does play well to that feeling of why he is so hell-bent on revenge, because that's, I mean, I don't know. I know you guys kind of skim past it. I'm interested to see how the whole zombie baby thing plays out in another movie. You know, having these like little toddler ankle biters that are just like released into the world.
Just a bottle of blood and human fluids and stuff like that, you know.
So, but I would like to, I'm kind of interested if you what else have you heard about this Omar Alpha and Omega theory? Because I thought that sounded actually pretty interesting.
I've heard that's pretty much just the bare minimum. I don't know if people have more to it, but just the fact that there was parallels as far as obviously Alpha Omega, and then like I said, many times they like face off and stuff like that. He takes a note of him, and then that's why people I guess have this theory that his bite, like I've seen this theory that people feel like he's gonna have this bite, but he's not gonna lose his memories and everything like that. He'll just be infected and maybe have like a hunger of people. I don't know, but that's where I think it's just one of those that there's clearly, I guess, something there. Like I guess because Zack Snyder kept him alive. And I think we will very much get a sequel if Netflix already did a prequel series, a prequel movie. It had, I think, the biggest box office for a Netflix film, and I think legitimately in every like UK, America, Canada, it was #1 trend all weekend. So I think Netflix is going to very much be in the Zack Snyder business. So. Yeah, I don't. That's might be worth some internet googling the Alpha and Omega theory. But I've just seen a few Twitter threads of just like, oh, this is why something, and maybe it's just for fun. Maybe it's just okay, put that two together. But yeah, we didn't. I guess we all kind of skimmed over Kate as well. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with that actress, and I don't even have a problem with the character per se. It's just that near the end of like. I get this woman that leaves the shelter, has 2 kids. But at the end of the day, like, it's just like she made that choice. She's a fucking idiot to go out there. The fact that the daughter wants to come along, okay, classic, like, same thing. We've seen this a million times before. And it's just like, the way she runs off, and of course that sets them like I don't have much to say other than the character was just kind of sucked. And know what I hate movies like this where characters go and they sacrifice the mission, they run, they go to save these people, and what happened? All these people just got fucking torn apart anyway. So it was like such a waste of time. So it was not a high point of the movie for me. Kate wasn't.
No, what you said, Travis, I don't mind like the actress. I thought she was all right, but I thought just like that mindset of, oh my gosh, your mom just went to die. Like, I don't want to raise you, so I'm going to go find her. So I'm going to just leave you here with no parent, no guardian or anything. Like, I don't know. I thought that was a little like immature of her. Like, don't you think someone should be like looking after these kids? But nope, she goes through all this trouble to get them back, and like Travis said, like they ended up dying anyways. So I don't know. I thought that whole reasoning was pretty lackluster, and just her motivations to like do things. It was like, oh no, I'm only here to save Gita, and that's my purpose. And I don't know. I didn't really care for it too much, but I thought I liked her like back and forth with Dave Bautista at moments. At first it was like, oh, she's such a bitch, like come on, it's your dad, bro. But like by the end, especially like that last little like emotional moment that they had together, I liked all that stuff. And then I liked like the sprinkling of the food truck combo throughout the film. So
all in the game, we will address the Sean Spicer thing later, or at least I will, because I was flabbergasted by that. But like, so I like to have that's the problem. The second she's in the mission, though, I know okay, he's gonna get bit, and she's gonna have to put down Dave Bautista.
That's exactly what I said to Shay.
Yeah, and that was the problem. Like, if she wasn't there, like, maybe Bautista will make this out, or maybe, but it's like no, okay, she's gonna have to do the same thing. And I like you. I liked the whole strained relationship of okay, it wasn't because you killed him. I get that. It's because you weren't there and everything like that. And he gives his reasons as far as like you look just like her and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna try and go into therapy hour. I'm not gonna make this a bummer of a cast. But I feel like with Dave Bautista's character, this is a movie that Zack Snyder made after his daughter passed away. And I feel like you can clearly see a lot of parallels with him and his character as far as some guilt that Zack Snyder feels. I'm not saying that's a warranted thing. I don't know that situation, and I hope he doesn't care about the rest of his life. But clearly with that character, that to me was an allegory for things he's working through as far as things that happened there, perhaps. And so I liked all that because that felt personal. And I think Bautista portrayed that all really well. I think he did, like, he's surprised emotionally can always bring that. He can get those, like, I love when he's trying to connect, and then she's kind of like, well, I don't know. I spent so long hating you, and he didn't mean that. And then he cuts off right away. He's like, oh, let's just fucking do this. Like, I really like him in those scenes. And I like the characters. Like I said, I feel like it's Zack Snyder putting some really personal stuff out there. It's just that, again, I didn't need that Kate subplot of I wish maybe she was already out there, and maybe I know it would be a coincidence, but it was already a coincidence anyway. Like, if he needed the daughter there, I wish there was some other way to get her involved. I don't know how. I think it would be like a big rewriting of the character, but even if she was somehow working with the Taka guy or something like that, and like maybe she's torn. I don't know. I just didn't like the way of, okay, she's at the camp and she has to go because she has to get these people that now dead. And now those kids are on a bus somewhere with nobody they know.
Yeah.
Just gone, where at least you could have had this person using somebody. But yeah, so wow, you guys have any feelings on Kate?
She was the only one that survived really everything, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean,
And
in theory,
Omar, I guess.
Yeah.
In a sense.
I mean, in theory, then we're probably looking at our main character for the sequel.
I'd say at least one of, yeah.
I mean, hopefully you like her enough, because that's what you're gonna get in the next movie.
The good thing, at least I like the actress enough. So if they write if they write some better stuff for her, I'll be on board. So I have that at least. I got something to take me to number 2.
So I didn't really understand the whole point of her. Really, she was kind of like, I won't say the same as the head cutting guy, but she was just there to cause chaos, right? I'm just coming because I can. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to go sneak out and cause a bunch of shit. Everyone else could have got off on the plane, but you had to come and stop and save me. For Gita, which, I mean, everyone ended up dying because of her.
And like, I missed it. Why did she leave to go get those 2 people? Like, I was trying to figure that out.
She needed cash to like get pay for her family to get out of the camp.
I remember that line. Yeah, even though that camp is gone now, but yeah, I get that, but I don't know.
I didn't like the reasoning. Just abandon your kids. Yeah. Like,
I'm putting myself in that situation of, like, let's say right now zombie apocalypse is happening, I'm stuck in this house, and if I could get in a better situation out of a camp to get money, I see the allure to it, but it's also the same as you coming to me being like, hey Travis, I have a way that we could do a bank heist and not get caught, and you're gonna be set, like you can give your kids everything you ever want and more, but it's like, yeah, but I still might get caught. Like, you might say I'm not gonna get caught. So it's like, I guess that, especially being a parent, and even Kirklin as not a parent, is already like, yeah, I wouldn't leave the kids there. I'm the same thing.
No.
I'm not gonna, in this zombie apocalypse, I'm not leaving the kids there. Like, I get the idea of the money, like, aura, but no, like, because now those kids are fucked.
I think the variable here, and the way I took it, was it wasn't to get the money to get out of the camp, because they knew the camp was being evacuated. It was where they were being relocated to, which was just a horrible location. These people and the soldiers didn't care for these refugees, so she wanted to get the money to get them out and get them somewhere better, instead of being moved to this shittier location. Now, I am not a parent, and again, we live in a very well provided for country.
Yeah.
But to be in a scenario where you have literally nothing, and your food and your supplies come in from a guy who mistreats women and everything in this camp of refugees, and it's just, you have nothing that you can do. I imagine, like, the things that people do in the real world for their family and their kids is like, I mean, we wouldn't even believe it. So in this sense, I totally do believe her just being as desperate as she was to go there and just try. Again, she's trying for her kids, and I can't blame her, just to do whatever she can for them.
Yeah, I guess when you bring up the guy at the camp, that's a good perspective too, because like, especially she has a daughter, so it's like, okay, worried about this guy, what could happen with my daughter? So you do bring up a good perspective. I guess it's just like, it's tougher when there's just the one parent, because if there's 2, it's like, okay, one may make that risk and something may terrible happen, but at least you have somebody. And maybe she should have just had a conversation with Kate of like, hey, you got to stay with my kids no matter what. Maybe I'd feel better about it then, of like, I'm going to take my risk for these kids to get this money, but you just have to stay. Because now, like I said, now they're even worse off. Now, like, maybe in the sequel, Kate will try to go and link up with them or something like that. But like, let's say if she doesn't, it's like, now they're even worse off. There's no one looking after those kids. No Kate, no mom. So it's just that's where it's like,
Omar
yeah, with the zombie infection. Yeah, come here. I knew your mom for like actually, we never met. She just died. But like, yeah, like, I guess that's the thing of like, I wish there was, it was a little murky, but I see your point of view. Like, yeah, definitely, like, terrible situation. So she has to do something to try and make it better. So you made it a little bit better for me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'll address that too. Yeah, Sean Spicer getting a check. Yeah, I don't know because that's a whole political thing. But yeah, I'm not a fan of him either. He was not a good person in my opinion during the Trump administration. And it's weird because like Zack Snyder interviewer talked about this week how like his whole career people think he's very right and very like Republican. He's been like, no, like I've voted Democrat my whole life and done all this stuff. But then if you get Sean Spicer in this movie and he's playing like himself, but it's like you're still paying that guy. It doesn't matter if it's cameo, he still gets a check. Like that's when you go and get like a stand-in guy, you don't get the actual guy. So I feel like that's where like Zack Snyder, unfortunately, in life misses a little subtlety. Like, remember, this is the guy that said like the only way Batman could be like dark is if he got sexually assaulted in a prison. You know, like he's. I think sometimes he misses a few cues of like like that type of thing. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of him in there. And yeah, what do you guys think about? Because Kirklin brought this up. Tig Notaro's last minute replacement of Chris Adele. I can't even say his fucking name, but she was CGI'd the complete movie. She didn't meet any of the. I think she met one person in the cast, but majority of the cast she did not meet. She was CGI'd or reshot all of her scenes in there.
Which actress is this? Sorry,
the pilot.
The pilot. Okay.
Yeah. You can start off to. Did you notice anything?
Yeah.
I'm guessing not.
The only scene that I felt was out of place was at the beginning when they were on the other sides of the fence. Other than that, I probably wouldn't have known unless you guys had told me. It was just the fact that she was every scene with her, they really blurred out the background behind her and it looked really odd. But again, I feel like they were just going for that aesthetic throughout the whole film.
See, but it must not have been that noticeable because you didn't know who the person that was replaced was.
Well, again, there's that too. Again, the only scene was just that I thought was odd was usually they show characters together in scenes, but they made a point of not showing them. And that was after Kirkland had mentioned the CGI scenario. So I had that pre-existing knowledge to expect something. And again, the name, you said like, I sounded like 5 names in one. I was like, who the fuck is this person? So...
Yeah, I think if you didn't know, but like I was looking for it because I had heard about this and the whole movie was like, okay, how they do this. I think there's a few scenes where she's standing with the group and she's CGI there and you go, But honestly, I think if you didn't know, I think they did a really good job. And it's crazy what you can do in movies nowadays, just digitally replacing actors and stuff. And like, obviously, it was, I think, a right call. The fucking original actor's a creepy dude and Zack Snyder doesn't want that guy on his film. So it's like, well, what are we going to do? But it's still so funny. Like, yeah, hasn't met lots of these people. And, but I liked her character. She was a fun little badass. You know, the internet seems like love her, and I like her enough. But
yeah, I was just thrown off on how weird her scenes were, and I was just it was something going on. I'm like, I don't know if it's her or if like just the special effects around. I was so confused, and then as I was watching it, I had read it, and then that's when I like saw the article. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then obviously I was looking for it, but no, Travis brought up a good point. Like when they were all in a group, actually, funny enough, I think this is the one where you said it was noticeable. I didn't really mind that particular scene with her in there, and I knew that she was edited in at that point, so that's something good. But there's also another time I swear I heard them say like he instead of like her. I swear I heard that, and I could be wrong. I'd have to rewatch it, but also there's another scene where Dave Bautista and her are talking and like they're just not looking at each other's like eye line. Like it's just so again, I knew about it when those scenes happened, so maybe I would have missed that, but I was definitely looking for it. But there's something off before I knew about the switch out.
That's why Batista's character has those glasses, you know, shit eyesight, you know, you can't see anything. No, the group one I was talking about was not when they were talking. It was when they first went on the mission and they were first coming out of like one of the crates, and she's off to like the right, and she looks very like keyed in differently where everyone has like different lighting, and she looks very like, okay, you've imposed her there. But even then, like the times I noticed, it wasn't so like Clay brought up, like they in place a entire human, but Warner Brother couldn't get rid of facial hair. Like, yeah, like it wasn't that where the whole movie was like, it took me out of it, right? I was like, okay, I see it here, but I think they did a good job, and I think she was a fun actress. So what about you, Jessica?
So I didn't know anything about this before it happened. Before I watched the movie. I missed all of this. I wasn't looking for it, right? So to me, I wasn't looking for these difference in eyesights or accidentally using the wrong pronouns or things like that. In retrospect, afterwards, Kirklin posted the article in our group chat, was just like, hey, what did you guys think about this? And I didn't know who the actor Tig, whoever was. So I had to actually go click on it and be like, okay, who are we even talking about? And then when I look back, yes, it's, I don't know that I would say it's obvious, but there are a lot of scenes where you can tell, put her on the rooftop with the helicopter and have absolutely no one around whatsoever. So that way her scenes are just kind of separate. Like Taylor said, kind of the scene on the other side of the fence. So they're never in the same kind of scene together nicely. There are lots of little nuances, but I think they did a really good job of it overall. And I'm in that internet camp. I loved her character. I thought her, like walk up, you want to do a job for $2 million? Yes, I do. It's like, you want to know the details? No, I hate my life so much. $2 million is amazing. Yes, sign me up. That like opening introduction to her got me. I was like, I feel that in my soul.
Yeah. And that joke that they did when they had the montage of the money continually going down, I really enjoyed that. Like, how do you want to do this for $2 million? You want to do this for $500,000? You want to do this for $200,000? What about 20 grand? It's like, oh man, I really like that. Showed the tone. I was kind of waiting, and again, this is where I wish instead of like the government guy or whatnot, I thought one of the point of contention was they're all gonna talk and realize, hey, we're not getting the same money. What the fuck's going on? And I wish we would have got that route because maybe we got some actually good character moments. But it was like, nah, these people are all just fucking. They just want any money they can get, and they're doing this. So like I guess, and I guarantee there's tons of people that don't want that type of drama there. I just thought, because I also just thought they didn't really question as far as we're cheering for Batista. He's the main character. But at the end of the day, that's kind of a shitty thing to do. Like, yeah, everyone has different jobs, but it's like they're putting their life on the line. He's kind of taking some money away from them. And that's where I thought there would be a point of, okay, he has a strained relationship with his daughter. He's doing this shady stuff. And the group might point to me like, yeah, dude, you're not all right. Like, you're like, look, like, I'm getting 20 grand and the guy was a rapist. But still, like, if we learn about that later, but it's like, I'm getting 20 grand versus this, like, what the hell? And I get some people are more higher in the food chain, but do they all know that? I don't think so.
What was the point of having, like you said, this big montage of, hey, 15 million, 2 million? I put it in my notes, the same thing. I was like, oh, this is going to be a big point of contention because everyone is slowly getting less and less. And then it just never came up again. I mean, especially you would think, when they open the vault and there's 400 piles of money just sitting there wrapped neatly, that someone would be like, holy shit, how the hell am I only getting 20 grand out of this?
Well, and it was weird though, because how I got out of that was, okay, they said there's $200 million in the vault, but it's pointless because the money is like, it's dead or whatnot because it's off. So what they're going to do though, they're going to take it in exchange and give you 50 million. So I could get why Batista would lie and say, okay, we got to give this 200 million and we get blank, and he could make up a number. But I didn't understand then how at the end, like, Omar was buying the plane and everything like that, because I thought they said the money was no longer good. It was no longer be able to use. So
no, the money, like, money is money. Money is in circulation unless they denounce the Canadian $2 bills, $1,500 bills like they just did. In this case, it was never about the money. It was about getting the blood, right? So it was dismissed about, it's never been about the money. We didn't need that. We didn't need 50 million. Do you know how much people would pay for the blood of one of these things?
That's so you're saying they lied? Okay. Yeah.
They lied. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Answered. There you go. So all in the game's really mad about he said, how do they transfer 200 million in a single Halo?
It wasn't 200 mil though, it was 50 mil.
No, it was 200 mil. They were going to get 50 million for trading it in, because remember, that was the lie. They said the 200 million in the bank vault is meaningless now. And that's where I did question too, how come they weren't like, so what do you want with the 200 million then? Like, if it's if it doesn't mean anything now, like, why do you want? But like, these characters again don't fucking care. They just want the money and everything. So yeah, I get that. And even then, like, so if they would have got back with the money, let's say it all goes right, the guy has the head, no one's died other than the rapist guy, because fuck him. Theo Rossi is a great actor, but still, they all get back with the money. Were they still going to be paid 50 million for the job?
No, probably executed.
Execute. Wow, fuck, that is brutal.
No, honestly, because the guy was doing that already. And on that note, and this is another one of my big cons, when he barricaded and left that girl behind, which she was a fucking badass, and I
Yeah.
loved how she it's sad that how she went out, but she went out like a badass. She took out so many in that whole room of hibernating zombies. But her last words, I wish she said like, "This guy, this bastard left me behind." Like all she said was "run," and she could have got out if the guy ran and cover fired.
The
Like
guy's just like standing there. He's like, "Get up!"
100%. In this movie, there's so many scenes where there's just like dozens and dozens of zombies. But in this scene, and like Taylor's right, there's like 3 separate times where she's about to die. She's fighting out, and I'm like, okay, she's gonna get there, and she's gonna throw the security guard on the bus, and we're gonna get some interest here. Maybe he'll save himself. But no, when she breaks out of that window, there's tons behind her, but there's like at one point, we're like 5 or 4 in front of her. All you need is the whole team to turn around, shoot them down, make a wall, and then she get past. So it's like, I wish they would have CGI to put a few more in there. And yeah, I'm same with Taylor. Like, I'd be fine if she cracks through the window and then right away zombies are on top of her. It's like, okay, she can't say shit because she's getting torn apart. I don't expect if some zombies ripping your throat out for you to be like, by the way, that guy, he locked the door. But when she is literally just standing there waiting for the zombies to take her and just says run, it's like, yeah, don't trust that guy. He just barricaded me. He got me off the path. Again, stupid kind of like B-rate zombie horror movie. We're like, okay, I guess that it happened because we needed it to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, poor guy. Oh, my point was with the money is if they were ever going to pay these people, I feel like they should just pay them to be like, hey, get the head and get out. Like the heist thing was so pointless because so they bump into the queen first time we get in there, right? The second time we see them, he shoots a harpoon gun. He straps her down. What if it was just the whole team of 12 people that were there, got the queen, cut her head off, and then just went back through the shipment thing and over? Even if you paid these people like 100, like maybe the money is not real, but I think this guy has money. He should have just literally paid them if all he wanted was the head. Pay these fucking people just to do the head. That's so much easier than trying to do the sneak. Like you got to do the heist and get the money. Just say, no, we'll get, and maybe somebody would say, oh, you're doing this for a bad reason. That's when you have the guy. That should be the lie when they should say, oh, no, we want to get the head because we want to find an antidote so this never happens again. Then throughout the movie, you could reveal, oh, no, they want to make it a weapon. But no, they don't do any of that shit. So
I think that's cliche, right? I mean, in this sense, like, yes, you get a completely different movie if you tell these guys we need to get the blood and you send them in. And again, you don't get good guys because if you want the cliche route, you have good guys that realize it's for the wrong reasons and they change it up. But you get a completely different movie if you send in the bad guys trying to get the blood or whatever.
I get that, but I feel like that guy who was played Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, that guy, he's alive, and I would feel like he'll be in the second movie, right? Because it ends with him slamming his phone down, he's pissed. To me, it just makes this guy seem like he's a fucking idiot. If he just didn't get the, like, why didn't he just get a bunch of murky bad guys like, hey, I'll pay you all 10 grand. Go. It was really easy how they caught the queen. It was only 2 of them. It was him and the coyote. They only needed 2 people. So it's like, walk in, get her, walk out. Not this whole, there's a helicopter, there's this, like, if this bad guy wanted this head, it was so much easier to do. And that's what I mean of like, you're right, it's a whole different movie, it's cliche, but I just mean like in the future, if this guy's back, it's like, well, he's not some fucking mastermind, he's just an idiot, and I can't invest as this character as a villain going forward, which sucks.
Well, and everyone already said, oh, we don't trust him. We need to start considering who we're going to kill off next if we need to, or sacrifice next. It's like at that point, when nobody in the room trusts him, why not just put some cuffs on him and, keep him in the middle of your group and push him
he's
forward.
A fighter, right? At this point in time, it's better to have an extra gun on your side. Like, even though he is an enemy and they don't trust him, I wouldn't say he's covering their backs, but if shit hits the fan, he's gonna be fighting.
Well, he didn't cover their
backs. He's gonna be fighting.
He killed that chick by
Yeah, but that was definitely her mistake because she chose to be covering his back. I would have had it the other way. I wouldn't have been protecting him.
Yeah, but what if she would have been walking? He would have just pushed her in the zombies and kept going.
Exactly.
Like
there would have been the guy in front of her would have caught that too. Like it would have just been a change. When you're at dead last, you open up a whole can of worms. Like if you aren't on top of that.
To me, it just makes more sense. You cuff him, and if shit goes wrong, you just push him down and run. You know,
Or
you
put
don't
him
have
in
to
the
be-
middle of the group at least, not the fucking back end where no one other than one girl has eyes and be like, "Hey, dude, you're in the middle of all of us." So at least there's like 5 guys in front, 5 guys in back. If you do something, you're fucked. Not just this one girl who got thrown off to the side. And it's like, and no one's like, I know they were moving quickly, but like no one saw any of this go down, or like it was just so. That's what I hated. It's like we've seen this done a million times before, and this was done like very boringly as well.
Or like they leave this dark room and go into a very lit hallway and she can't see the light from the door open up multiple times.
No. She was bad. She needs those glasses Batista had, you know? She was talking. There's a cut scene and we didn't get that.
He didn't want to go over that 25-minute mark. He had to keep it at 2:24.
Yeah. I have like little notes to shout, but I don't have anything massive to shout out now.
I got one thing to shout out. Oh, Jessica, go ahead.
This is just so I was trying to look up the Alpha and Omega piece just out of interest, and one little cool fact that did pop up that I don't know if any of you guys know this, but Zeus's hair actually grows. So once again, showing that the zombies, I don't know, grow or age or whatever you know, similar to the fetus thing. Mm-hmm. So these zombies are not necessarily dead.
Well, or do you buy the thing, Jessica, that they might be like extraterrestrial, or like from our point of view, like it looks like zombies, but the fact that there's like people say that there is like maybe alien ships in this movie, these things come from Area 51. Do you like that at all? Like, let's say in the down line, go, oh no, these aren't zombies per se, but this is like a different race that landed here or some shit.
See, there's got to be some kind of, I don't know that I like the idea of them all being one, because that doesn't really make sense. How do you have like a zombie bite a robot? And I don't know. He's Subject Zero, so I mean, I guess it could make sense that he is part alien, and that's why he's so different than our normal kind of westernized zombies that we get. I feel like there's just a lot in this universe that's it's still left to be explained. The zombie horse and the zombie tiger, and did Alpha, Patient Zero go and chase them down and start biting tigers, or is this, like you said, alien transferring the genetics from one patient to another species, or is it robots that are finding a way to inject this serum or the blood into animals? I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily like the idea, but I'm not writing it off until I see a little bit more of an explanation.
I'm not writing it on until I get that discussed in the movie itself. Because as of right now, it's like, how am I supposed to think that these are robots or aliens or anything? Unless I'm like going on the internet and, reading the forums and like getting more backstory there. And maybe they'll cover that, but until then, they're zombies, and that's the way it is.
As far as Patient Zero goes, I mean, I feel like he was just a subject of them doing experimental genetic testing. Maybe trying to make a super soldier, as again they alluded to, having an army of these things they could control. Because he had dog tags. He was obviously military. I'm assuming maybe he volunteered or something for some kind of bullshit plan or project that went awry. And again, we don't know where they were moving him. But yeah.
Well, we are going to finish off our final thoughts, final notes, and ratings after this last ad break. All right. We're back.
I was going to shout out like the PTSD scene that Batista had, like remembering the moment with his wife. I love that scene. I thought that was like very heavy. And just like the way that he like killed her with the knife. There were so many knife kills in this movie, but
yeah, I like too because he was a bigger guy. He like held her back for a bit because he just didn't want to do it. And when he woke up, it looked like a brutal waking up. Don't want to wake up that way.
No, yeah. And again, like that was Batista showing some range and emotion. So definitely respect there, Mr. Dave.
Mm-hmm. You had something you want to shout before Jessica was going, or did we cover that?
Yeah. So the pilot, when Alpha basically, even leading up to that scene, just the cinematics of the helicopter flying. But when Alpha jumped on the helicopter and when she moved the helicopter sideways and was like falling down vertically and then went out horizontally, and then was just the maneuvers going through everything. I was like, oh my god, get me on Warzone right now. Let's fucking go. I'm so just amped.
That's how you drive, just like
that,
sideways.
I was loving it.
He so many times runs into a building and he keeps saying, "Oh, there's a helicopter glitch, guys. There's a glitch," but I don't believe him.
Run to a tree, it just explodes.
Yeah. Let's see. There was one kind of bad thing at first when they were watching the Zombie Queen in the scopes. I don't know if anyone else knows it, but it was like right when she was leaving the scene and they were watching her, and just the way she ran, she's like, and like it looked like
something was off.
Yeah, I felt like, and maybe this was just bad directing. It felt like she didn't know she was on camera, and she was just like, okay, you're supposed to exit scene, but like, yeah, the way she was like running, it was real. Eyes laughed. I was like, that looks fucking bad. Like they should have done another take, or like I said, she didn't know that was going to be used or there was something like it did not look good. It looks like those videos people make when like, oh, Batman like disappears and they show like him actually like running away while Gordon like in the background. Like, yeah, it looked not good. I had that in my notes. Like, oh. Taylor, I'm sure you love Dieter doing this thing because it reminded me of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. He kept doing the high-pitched scream thing. You do that once in a movie, you don't do that maybe twice, you get do away with it. The fact that they did it like 3 or 4 times, I hate that. And in Jurassic World, that fucking kid does it too. Like, it starts off as funny, but then it gets annoying. And I hate that it was just do the same joke. So
he overcame it though. I didn't mind it because he did it the first time when they were all in hibernation, which made me jump too. But then you had it again where I that was more like a serious moment, but then I laughed when he did it when they were in the vault. That's what really got me. And then after that, I mean, he died. So it was just the 2 times he did it.
No, there was 3 times. Was
there 3? Oh,
at least 300%. Yeah, at least. But yeah, and Zack Snyder's kind of already hinted that character survived, so maybe we'll see him again.
He survived?
Dieter.
Well, he said just like how horror movies go. Yeah, he said just like in horror movies how they go is you don't see a death, and in some interview he just didn't keep talking. So he's just insinuating if you didn't see him die on screen, and he is right. Horror movies, you don't see someone die on screen, they're likely alive. So
that means the girl who got speared on top of the building is still alive.
Well, that was weird because I thought he was gonna make her like the new queen because he had her pinned against the wall and he goes to bite her and we cut so that okay, we're gonna see some. But no, she's probably just fucking nuked, or like you said, there's a chance the coyote's still alive, or she's been, I don't know. But yeah, if she's not back, that was a really weird choice not to show her get bitten. Like, what was with that?
Well, she would have been nuked anyway, though.
Well, you
but
think with
Dieter, if he survived, he would have been nuked too, right? So there's no
another vault.
If Dieter survived, there's no logic to like, there must be another vault.
Fridge,
Oh god, nuke fridge. That's all the notes I have for Army of the Dead.
So I got a question for probably Travis would be the one to answer this. Did they change the script up when they switched out Chris?
I think very little. Like obviously they did ADR, so some people could say the name or say like her instead. But I imagine he was still the pilot. So when he was up on the roof, I bet that was still, or when she was up on the roof, I bet he was too. Maybe he had a bit more character interactions, but it sounds like they, as far as Snyder said, it sounds like they just reshot everything, which would imply that a few script rewrites maybe, but nothing to overhaul it. So I think they just literally did all the scenes again and shot her. There's many times where they went to the same location, like, okay, Batista would be here, you be here. So I think they just reshot everything.
Same jokes and same script more or less and everything. Okay.
Yeah, probably because like when they're talking like Batista on the other side of the fence, they don't have to change their dialogue either, right? If she's saying the same line. So
yeah.
Anything else to bring up, or should we get to our final thoughts here, our final ratings?
I will piggyback on all the game's comment there. The non-lethal booby traps to the vault. I definitely thought that was very comedic, and I enjoyed that. I wasn't expecting that third one of the walls just closing in.
Yeah, and I liked how they had to spread it apart. Oh, what I was surprised, it is an Easter egg, so it worked, but when they showed like the loop, what people are calling it, or at least just the scenes when they were successful, when they get into the bank heist, if you look in the left corner, there is the Snyder cut. There is the film that he kept in film canisters, and it's there. I was really hoping when they got into it the second time, it would be there, and some character would make some sort of comment like, it is real, or something. Like, obviously the movie came out, but I thought it would have been really cool. But when they got in the vault the second time, it just wasn't there anymore. So it's just a very small Easter egg, but he did have the actual Snyder cut in the first vault, which I thought was very clever. Of like, at this point, he doesn't know if this movie's coming out when he made it. It's locked away in some vault by zombies. So that was fun. And I'm sure go listen to other podcasts out there that are heavy Snyder fans. I'm sure there's so many more like that kind of go to his filmography that I wouldn't even catch, because I like his movies, but I'm not an avid watching them every month of my life. So if we're doing ratings, are we doing ratings?
If you want to.
Okay, I'll go first because I think I'm the lowest. I'll go 6.5. I almost gave it a 7, but to me, I give 7s to movies that I will probably rewatch multiple times. I might watch this again at some point in my life, but I don't see it happening anytime. There's just other zombie movies I would put on, or other new zombie movies I'd like to check out, but it's not as low as a 6, so 6.5 for me. I enjoyed it, but like I said before, I feel like it's kind of a safer one. Even Sucker Punch, as far as all in the game, are you saying for ones I've enjoyed, or if there's an Easter egg? Enjoyed? No, but I only saw Sucker Punch once a long time ago, so it's one I think we'll rewatch at some point because I'd love to. But that's another film that he said there's like a bunch of studio meddling and they cut a bunch of stuff. But what I saw from it, not good at all. But other than that, I like Man of Steel. I have a complicated relationship with. Like, I give it like a 5 or a 6. Like, I pass it now, but like, do I like the movie? I don't know. That's a that's a whole different can of worms. But 6.5 for this. I give it a pass.
I will go next. Do you remember what I gave Dawn of the Dead? I want to say 7 or 7.5.
I feel like you would have went 7. I don't think you got 7.5. I feel like that's too high. I even feel like 7's too high, but
yeah. I can't quite remember what I gave that one, but this one I think I'm sitting 7, like a nice round number. Like I said, like the action scenes as well as the overall idea of what the movie was, minus all these Easter egg things about robots and whatever the hell they might be. I just liked like the fact that it's a heist movie in Vegas. This is your playground. These are the rules. You know, there's alpha zombies as well as just shamblers, I believe they called them. And like just that aspect of like, instead of cops, you know, there's zombies that you have to deal with. So that was fun. But yeah, overall, it was like some of the dialogue was pretty cringy for me, and it is pretty predictable, especially when we were talking about like the bad guy, the head of the security guy, I forget his name. I must say though, his death was fucking awesome to see, so that was good. Just bite the whole face off.
Oh yeah, just crush him big time.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. I definitely will watch it again, especially if, you know, I have a friend over or something. It's like, have you seen this? Oh, okay, no, it's a fun enough watch. So
2.5 hours though, lots of time to invest.
That is true, actually. I watched it earlier this morning, so I feel like I kind of forgot about how long it was. Travis, you mentioned it did seem a little too long, and I definitely agree with you. There was certain dialogue scenes between characters that was just so long.
Yes.
The last one between Dave Bautista and his daughter, again, it's nice emotional, you know, she ends up shooting him. But at the same time, like, there was some dialogue that I missed, and I rewound that scene, and it was so long of like rewinding. I'm like, oh my gosh, how long is this scene between the two of them there? So
last hour
rolls.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was a couple of those that I would have trimmed big time. I don't know how much time that would have saved, but yeah, a little too long.
Got All in the Game says Dawn of the Dead is still best for me. I could say that some people have that. I still have Watchman is still mine up there. Does everyone
Zack Snyder film?
Yeah, Zack Snyder film. Yeah,
I would probably say Justice League. I think.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Watchmen too many times, and I did really, really like that one when we did the retro. So maybe I would watch it again to get us.
You should watch the 5-hour Watchmen cut. If you like the Justice League one, you could watch the ultimate cut of Watchmen. It's great. There are a bunch of new stuff. I was gonna say, Batista said that everyone loves lobster rolls. Is that true? Do you guys all love lobster rolls?
I'm trying to picture what I'm gonna do a quick Google. I don't think
I don't really, because it's the same as crab cakes. As far as there's lots of like, I think like, it's maybe not mayonnaise, but like cream cheese and like it's breaded. Nah, I like it enough, but love. If I saw a lobster rolls truck.
anything with lobster is definitely good.
Okay, so you eat like a lobster and shit sandwich?
I get lobster shit on the side.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm allergic to shit.
A seafood truck is just not. It's a no from me. Like that
I
just
agree.
like
Honestly, food trucks
100%.
these days are on point. There
She
is
didn't
a
say that,
lobster
though.
one.
She just said seafood though. She didn't say food trucks, and I'm with her. And so far as seafood ones, that you got to have a lot of faith in Scott Ward here.
There's a lot that has to go into keeping seafood safe for consumption. All I'm saying is I don't remember what they were, but I feel like the first one, artisan grilled cheese, that's what it was. I would go for some artisan grilled cheese.
And that's like a nice, like, just pick up and go while you're walking in the park or something. A lobster roll, like, I don't know, but that's how Taylor's going to die, not COVID.
It's like a hot
food
day.
poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, food poisoning, hot day, seafood lobster roll. Like, oh, it's so good.
They look delicious. But yeah, I agree with the talk about the food truck. Not a good pairing.
Jessica, what are you giving this movie out of 10? Or are you just passing or failing? Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so I don't remember. I gave a rating on Justice League just because we had bets on what I would give a rating for Justice League. Normally, I don't do it because similar to Dylan, him not being on reviews anymore, but the whole give this a 7 and then something else a 7, but they're so vastly different. Taylor giving a 10 out of 10 to Suicide Squad
because
or
they're
whatever
uniquely
it was.
their own.
See, anyway. So I will disclose now that we're coming to the end of this. I watched it on 1.5 speed. So
hold the Dylan Muss.
I did. I didn't have enough time, and I was like, I'm not going to be the one to start this retro an hour or review an hour late. So we'll just 1.5 it. So some of these long scenes definitely didn't seem as long.
They felt normal.
Yeah.
There was some of the slow motion wasn't in slow motion. There was maybe that's part of why I didn't think it was quite as bad as Travis, as just to shout out to Travis saying he didn't really enjoy it. As for me, it was quite fast paced. Everything went pretty quick. Music at 1.5 speed definitely didn't really match. That was a little off. Overall, though, as I've said, I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was fun. It had some kind of zombie cliches in it, but also I found that there was some pieces of it that I didn't necessarily expect. I thought it was fun seeing a zombie horse and him riding on that, and the patient zero having his hair actually grow, and the possibility of unborn reproduction. I don't know. I'm interested to see kind of where it goes. I said I would probably put this one on and sit on my phone and have it in the background. After talking about it for the last hour and a half, I don't know that that's going to be anytime soon. It might not be for a while when I've kind of forgotten. But I think looking at the fact that this review was only an hour and a half, and it's a 2.5 hour movie, kind of says something about where the quality of it sits.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I'd still pass it. I had fun with it. I did enjoy quite a few of just as a fun ride. Put it at that. I did want to ask Taylor though, do you have a steel case of your Train to Busan that you talk about you've brought this movie up a lot of times?
Mm-hmm. And I do not. No.
That was depressing.
Okay, well, I'm not going to watch it then.
Hey, take it from the
on
fans.
Netflix at one point,
Several
too.
people in the chat have been saying it's a go-to, and I can't recommend it enough. Like if you find it online,
it's not on
worth
Netflix. It's not on Prime. It's not on Crave.
It was on Netflix at one point.
It should be on Prime. It was on there last I checked.
I just looked many seconds ago.
Took it off. They couldn't compete with Army of the Dead. They're like, but
Prime. They started a partnership with Shudder, so they want you to do a subscription to Shudder in order to access it.
It's what's worth it sometimes. But one day when we do all the franchises and whatnot, we're gonna have to do genres. So maybe one day we'll get to Train to Busan, because eventually we'll get through all the Marvel films and DCs and Harry Potters and Lord of the Rings, and we'll be like, what do we do next? Yeah, Brendan Fraser, everything like that. So we'll get there one
Nick
day.
Cage eventually.
Oh, 100%. Taylor Field, what are you giving this film out of 10? Because you swear by the rating system.
I do. I think everything has its own right to be uniquely voted and categorized as its own piece. Just like an individual is uniquely separate from another individual in their own sense. So, in the terms of this movie, I would say that I agree with Jessica in the sense that I could see myself putting it on the background again in the future. I see myself rewatching it probably at least 4 more times in my life. At least. So
I like that you don't just say again, just specifically 4 more times. Like,
yeah.
And you don't know when you're dying, but specifically 4 more times.
Well, yeah, I don't know when I'm dying. I'm not like I could be in front of an elevator and then all of a sudden my head gets flipped backwards. You never know.
No, it's a seafood truck. Remember?
It's a seafood truck, right? My head will flip backwards after I eat that lobster.
What am I going to do about this press, Kate? People are eating my lobster rolls and their necks are just snapping backwards. We'll never recover. I don't know what happened.
Just like Maria.
Yeah, I'm sorry I killed your mom.
But yeah, I feel like with this film and what they did, I think that it had some tropes that were very similar to the zombie storylines that I like. And I think that what we get in the future will be exciting. So I'm looking forward to what comes out of like the progressives. Like I got distracted. I'm not gonna lie, son of a bitch.
Just drop your number. Drop your number.
I'm giving this a 7 out of 10.
Whoa, that's way lower than I thought.
That's way lower than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like. Again, I'm not saying like it's not like a perfect
No,
movie.
you hated
It was
fucking-
gonna be a 10, and then he got distracted.
No.
And then now
I,
7.
I take zombie movies very seriously these days, and I feel like if there's stupid miscommunication, that does annoy me when it comes to zombie movies. And again, I know these characters were all kind of like little zany and wonky and stuff, and it fit their MO and their personalities a lot. And I like that, but there's a difference between having that and then common sense. And there was just so much miscommunication throughout this where they could have so easily figured things out and changed things up. And you're right, if you pull Kate out of this, Dave Bautista lives, the pilot lives. Unfortunately, the mother dies, but then there's other scenarios where it's so many different variables. And we talked about that, like so many different, like you swap out the cast with like being evil criminals. So
I just hope a body comes flying through Taylor's fucking window.
If Cena was in this,
haunted right now, like these ghosts are trying to fuck him up, and he's trying.
Can you hear the door open?
Oh yeah, 100%. Now he's the cat back there. John, it would have been a 10 for Taylor if Cena was in for Bautista. God, yeah.
I was gonna say Taylor's like the most critical when it comes to zombie movies. He like breaks down like all the different factors on why it's not, a higher score. But
he takes them seriously, Kirklin.
I respect it. No, I like it.
Yeah, no other films, but he takes it seriously. So, well, we've done it. I don't know if we'll be doing the prequel film or the series, but who knows at some point, whatever we are in our lives. We thank you very much for tuning in this review. We hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, in the comments, let us know what you thought about it. Let us know if you agree with our problems, disagree, give some points. What about your theories? And yes, thank you very much for tuning in. And we promise when you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Bye-bye.
Farewell.
I'm in control here, and you're going to give me what I want. You know what it is. Give me what I want. You know what I want. I've been asking for it for years. You're going to give me what I want, or I'm going to continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. That's not what I want. I want you at WrestleMania. Give it to me. Is that what you want? Give it to me. Give me what I want. You want me at WrestleMania? Give me what I want. You're on.